Hello, Tjhoko friends. My name is Franscois. I am one of the ambassadors for Tjhoko Paint. My Tjhoko journey started in 2019 by painting odds and ends at home. In 2020, I entered one of my projects, a commission piece I did for a client in the Tjhoko Champs competition. It was about a month afterwards that I received a phone call from Nadine congratulating me on winning Tjhoko Champs 2020. With the prize money we received from the Tjhoko Champs competition, we became a stockist and has been for the last 4 years. Shortly after that, we started doing basic workshops. We traveled from Bloemfontein to Pretoria, and that's where I had the privilege of meeting a lot of you face to face. I would like to thank everyone joining us for this demonstration at the Opgetorrie showroom. With Easter approaching soon, I thought of doing a 3-bunny project. The first bunny will be done in my build-up technique that I know everyone's been asking for. The second bunny will be done using the damask stencil from Tjhoko, which I think is one of my most favorite stencils to use. The third bunny I will be doing decoupage on using the Turkish glue decoupage by Tjhoko. We are starting on the first bunny. Like I said, this is my build-up technique that I know everyone's been asking for. The build-up mixture we normally do by using stencil of Paris, one scoop, and a little bit more. Color of your choice, we're going to go with Danny's Day. About an equal amount to the stencil of Paris paste. Got salt, normal table salt. A little bit less than 5 mils. And plaster of Paris, the same amount as the salt, a little bit less than 5 mils. Give it a good mix. So we've got it back to about the consistency of stencil of Paris before mixing it in. For doing this, I normally use a sad old brush that's been used a lot. It gives me the best effect. Then all over the bunny, roughly and randomly dab the mixture on. Trying not to create a pattern. This totally depends on what you want in the end. You can go thicker in some places, thinner in some. You do not have to cover the entire surface. For this specific project I am going to. As you can see on pieces of the wood where I had markings and holes, I folded up with stencil of Paris yesterday and got it to dry properly. This is now ready to leave outside in the sun to properly dry. Okay, the first bunny has been out in the sun and is properly dried out now. So what I'm going to do on this step is use David and paint all three of these bunnies in a proper coat David, making sure on the builder bunny to get in all the little nooks and crevices. This is just a thick coat, making sure that you cover everything up. This coat on the bunny also ensures that all the build-up we've got on actually stays on the bunny. Everything at the bottom. This one will then go to the sun again. Okay, we're going to start again with the bunny that I'm going to do the raised exposed stenciling on. We're going to use the same mixture that I did with the Danish Day and stencil of Paris. The damask stencil, and I'm not going to take my stencil in any specific spot, as I would like to do a broken stencil. So I'm going to use parts of the stencil and not do a complete stencil on it. There's no right or wrong, it's just I want to put a picture on the surface without creating a definitive pattern. So it is randomly placed. Finishing off right at the bottom. And this is the idea of what it's going to end up as. Okay, the next one is the bunny for the decoupage. Let's get this open. I love this white and blue decoupage. Let's see. It's going to fit this side. Okay, I'm going to need, if I measure it, about 1 row of blocks. So what I'm going to do is cut along one of these lines, just to make it easier to decoupage this piece on. Okay, after I've cut this piece, I'm going to use the clear glaze, applying a liberal amount on the surface that I've painted in David. Then let's put the darker piece at the bottom, making sure we've got the right side up. Place it on the bunny. Make sure you aligned it straight, because you've got lines on the decoupage. And then using undiluted clear glaze again, fix it to the entire surface. All over. And once it's on the entire surface, I'm going to put this aside and let it dry properly. Then I will show you how to cut the edges off using the piece of sandpaper. And that's the way I'm going to leave it to dry outside. Okay, the raised stencil bunny, I'm going to use David again. It's probably been dried in the sun. So only thing I want to do is I want to put one coat on top of the stencil. Make sure it goes all over. I'm careful not to put a too thick coat. Reason for that being, I'm going to sand down afterwards, and the thicker you put a coat of paint on, the more sanding you're going to have to do. So I just make sure I've got the edges, everything covered. Then we'll be checking on the bunny's outside with the decoupage and the raised, the build-up, to see how far we came from there. I'm jumping around, but back to our raised stencil bunny, the build-up bunny. I've got it covered in David. Everything is dried all over. Then I'm going to use a piece of 60 grit sandpaper and reveal the build-up that we've got at the bottom, while at the same time exposing the flattened out build-up you created. This is your own choice in doing it, to reveal as much of the red stencil, build-up, sorry, and pieces of wood that you can. I'm going for a rustic look, so I will be revealing a lot of edges, showing the wood on the end. Using a dry cloth. Wiping it back. And that is the first step on the build-up, sand it down. Okay, all our bunnies has been outside for long enough to dry properly. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take a piece of the same P60 60 grit sandpaper, and on the bunny with the build-up, the erased stenciling, I'm going to expose the erased stenciling to bring the glue up to the surface, and the same that I did with the actual build-up bunny, I'm going to expose pieces of the wood to create a rustic look. Bear with me 1 second. Along the edges. And I like to expose them a little more on the corners, just to make them look used. And if you can imagine, anywhere that an item would get damaged, that's where you're gonna sand a little bit more. Then with a cloth, wipe it back. So we've got the raised stenciling and we've got the builder bunny basically done. The next one I'm going to move to is the bunny with the decoupage paper on. It's dried properly outside. The other piece of the 60 grit paper, I'm going to use like you would use a grinder or on the edge, not flat, a little bit down the degree, and just sand along the edges. As you can see, it makes a super clear cut, just to make sure that it's coming off. Got one side basically off. Just cut it here. Then around here. Just using my finger as an indicator to see where I've got turns. Following along the edge, that side. Got the here. I'm doing all the straight pieces first. You'll see on the edges where I've got a piece of rough wood. What I like about the method of using a piece of sandpaper is it exposes all the rough pieces underneath so the decoupage looks realistic on top. This edge. Then what I'm going to do using a scissor, I'm going to cut in a little bit where we've got the bottom of the face. That's that piece and that piece. Folding my paper double. With in there. And that gives us a perfect clear cut around. And that is our decoupage bunny. The last step is I'm going to use undiluted clear glaze. As you guys will see tomorrow morning, I'm going to set these up in the garden. You can use them on your Easter table. You can put them together. I've got an extra set as we did the print that I'm going to put as together. I'll show you now for a key holder. These we planned to put in the garden by the front door to welcome your Easter guests. They can be used in the middle as the centerpiece, but then I would do both sides, where we just did one side now. They've got so many different things that you can use them for. They can be put in a window. Possibilities is endless. Just properly putting a coat of clear glaze on top. Then I'm going to leave them overnight to dry out properly. We'll put a ribbon and make them nice for tomorrow morning, and then I'll post a photo at the end of the video. Thank you so much.